Welcome to the first ever Facebook, YouTube Live, post-game live, Six Nations. Let us know where you are in the comments. If you're watching, give me a comment and tell me where you are, how much you enjoyed the game, and what you're drinking as well. I'm having one of these, a Nick Shishko. Cheers. Be interesting to see what people think about that. Certainly a lot of the stuff that was really on Twitter were quite disparaging about Wales. I think the commentators that I listened to were a lot more balanced about it, quite realistic. But let me know what you think. Let me know where you are as well. Drop a comment. Let me know where you are watching the game from. And then we'll get into discussing this opening fixture. I think very few people, well, nobody that I heard, thought Wales were going to win. I think most people were hoping that it would be competitive. I know Di Flanagan, that I had on the podcast last week, was hoping for little things that Wales could build on throughout the championship and grow from and take heart in to take on to the next challenges ahead. Be interesting to see whether they'll feel like they have had that or not. If you're just arriving, drop where you are in the comments. Let me know where you're dialing in from, and let me know what you're drinking as well. And we had Rugby Merlin on the podcast as well, another proud Welshman. And he was kind of saying that, playing away in Paris against all those superstars could be something that breed a lot of confidence in the Welsh players if they could find a way to live with them for periods of time, or they can get some success in the game. Again, it's hard to say whether that's definitely going to have happened or not. It'd be very interesting to see what Wales take out of this. I think they got a decent way through their game plan and then just didn't quite execute the things that they needed to, which is a bit disappointing, I'm sure, for them. Also, drop in the comments. Let me know, who impressed you tonight? I'm imagining we've got mostly Welsh fans here, but France as well. Let me know which players you thought, the best player from each team, maybe. I'll kick off. I thought for Wales, there are a couple of, actually, I'll say three. I thought Gareth Thomas, Lou said, was actually outstanding. I thought he was possibly Wales's best player. His tackling is unreal. He just chops like an old school Argentinian. I'll add to that, very, very solid at the scrum. I'll add to that some beautiful soft hands around the park. I think he's right up there. So Gareth Thomas was one for me. Who else? I thought Jack Morgan, again, tackling, just insane chopping ability, really, really high quality at that. It carried well as well. I thought he was a menace at the breakdown at times too. Yeah, I thought Jack Morgan was great. And also I thought Liam Williams at fullback didn't put a foot wrong. Really combative throughout. And yeah, I thought he had a really solid game for Wales too. Let me know what you think. Hit them in the comments. If you've got any questions as well, just drop them in there. Cheers again. And here's a question for you. Let me know what you think about this. Those first 2 French tries, you look at it, and I was a prop forward, right? I played in the forward, so I don't know too much about this. And so let me know what you think, especially if you're a back 3 player. First 2 French tries, potentially to me, it looked like Josh Adams just got caught out positionally a little bit. Or was it just outstanding French play? The first one was when Dupont kind of ran backwards a little bit, pumped, looked to kick, then went backwards again before kicking. So whether Adams was right to then come up and then couldn't get back, I'm not sure. And the second one was when Ramos took a bit of an arc and managed to do like almost like a chest pass, like a basketball pass, which kind of just ended up going behind Adams's back, but it looked like he chased up a bit too hard, but potentially just got caught out because he didn't expect Ramos to be able to pass the ball like that, essentially. But let me know what you think. If you're a back 3 player, winger, do you reckon he got caught out a little bit there positionally? Let me know. What else? What else from this game? Thought the Welsh scrum held up really well. More than that, actually. I thought they scrummed well. A couple of issues at line-out time, but generally set piece was good for Wales. I thought they competed really hard, which obviously you expect that. That's a given. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Welsh side ever not compete really hard. So yeah, that's a given for Wales. New people arriving, let me know where you are. Tell me where you're dialing in from. Let me know what you're drinking. I'm drinking this Serbian lager, the Shishko. What else from Wales? Let's go through. I made some notes and everything. What do we think about the impact of Tommy Raffel? He came on early for Wainwright, which, again, actually, Wales had some misfortune in this game. They haven't got the biggest, heaviest carriers in the world, and they lost one of them very early on. You know, Wainwright's been Wales's biggest carrier probably for a few years now. Lost Faletau before the game as well. So, you know, they really struggled to make dents, and fortune wasn't on their side in that respect as well. Also a nasty injury in the second half to Owen. Second half or first half? Can't quite remember now. First half. Actually, only after 25 minutes, Owen Watkin looked like a nasty injury. So again, Dan Edwards, congratulations on debut. But that's disruptive as well, again, in the first half, which made it harder for Wales. Look, they were far from perfect, but I thought actually they started the game pretty well. And I said in the preview that I thought their best route to victory was that they had to be really brave and try and go for long times, long phases of possession, keeping the ball as much as they could. And it looked in the first few minutes that that's what they were actually going to try and do, because they played a lot in the middle third and they weren't making a huge amount of ground, a little bit here and there, but they were keeping the ball nicely and they didn't look under too much pressure. But France just had the quality, right? They had the moments of supreme class, and that first showed literally 2 minutes in. So Wales kept the ball for the first 2 minutes. As soon as it was like a charge down kick kind of thing, half charge down kick that bounced up to Ramos, and I immediately thought counter attack go. This is what France lived for. Ramos, however, had been already scanning the backfield, and with his absolute cannon boot, whacked a 50-22. And it was that kind of absolute quality when the moments it was needed that really set France apart. I mean, I don't think they really got out of third gear generally in this game, but they scored. When they scored, they made it look kind of easy. Like so many, I think there was a lot of, I think was it 3 crossfield kick tries, so really narrowed Wales up. And as soon as they did, boom, accuracy, get the score, and a couple with sort of big, long, over the top passes. Again, once they got Wales narrow, the ability, the vision, and the skill to just execute it immediately. I thought Wales created stuff like that in the middle third. They had times when they could have got to the edges and just either chose the wrong pass or messed up the pass, or there's a couple of times as well just dropping the ball in midfield, which I don't know. Guy Flanagan, who I spoke to on the podcast, was saying how just lacking in confidence this team. They need stuff to build on, and you could see it. I thought they started well, like I said, but then as the game went on, just a little error here, conceded a try there, and just everything rumbled away a little bit, I think, for Wales in the end. I mean, they kept fighting all the way through, but it wasn't until right towards the start of the second half, I think it might have been Liam Williams that put Josh Adams away down the left flank about 5 minutes into the second half. And that was just like, right, okay, we created an edge here. They took advantage of it, but they just didn't take the right options often enough, just made too many errors. And then the other big thing for Wales, obviously, when you look at the penalty count, was that the discipline was just, really poor. I mean, they're under pressure, so you're always going to concede more penalties in that respect. But there were some dumb ones in there as well. There's a couple of really stupid ones, avoidable penalties, let's put it that way. So I just thought Wales, unfortunately, I think they'll be disappointed with their performance. I think there's facets that they could look at and go, right, if we get to that point and we just execute what we know we can or what we should do, then they've got a chance to hurt teams. But unfortunately, they didn't really get that enough tonight. There's a lovely moment in the second half when France made 6 substitutions in one go. I always quite like that, It's like sending on the cavalry. I mean, it's probably, there's an argument, obviously, about whether the amount of subs we have, takes away from the game a little bit or whatever. And I can see that, but I do quite enjoy like emptying the bench. It's quite a nice look. And I wonder whether Gaultier wished he'd removed Untermatt as well at some point before that absolute brain fade that he had with 10 minutes to go, 38-0 up, absolutely cruising, and then you go and shoulder someone in the head late after they kick the ball with no attempt to wrap whatsoever. It was the most dull thing I've seen since I saw Junior Kapoku do it last night for England under 20s. Exactly the same kind of thing. It's really could and should have been a straight red card as far as I'm concerned. Same with Kapoku last night. There was no mitigation. He was always illegal. And to do that at 38-0, when regardless, there was no danger. To do it anyway was stupid. And there's every chance now he's going to miss the game against England next week, which is criminal as far as I'm concerned. And like we spoke pre-tournament in the France preview and at various times about France are the most talented side in this tournament. They've got the best players, there's no question, but they've always got this opportunity, this ability to implode somehow. And getting your fly-off sent off when you're 38-0 up at home with 10 minutes to go, I mean, that's a classic example of it. I mean, they've got plenty of good players to come in and take his place. Let's not pretend they haven't, but they wouldn't be choosing that. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But I was half laughing and half in dismay that somebody could be quite that stupid. But there we go. It happens. People have brain fades in sports. It's just the way it goes. What else from this game? What else shall we say? I mean, the wingers were just the beneficiaries of some phenomenal play inside, particularly Dupont had his moments actually when things didn't go quite right for him, kicking that ball into touch when there was no one anywhere near where he kicked the ball. He dropped a couple of passes as well, but I think it was Russell Earnshaw that I saw on Twitter. Like it's like a junior coach's nightmare because you might as well just tear up the coaching manual and all the things that you've historically said to players, like run forward, don't run backwards, all that kind of stuff. Like he just does his own thing, and he's a little magician at it, and he's brilliant, and he's so strong and powerful and quick and elusive with the skills to kill as well, kicking or passing, that he's not getting away with it. It's an absolute tactic to draw people onto him, lure them in, and then go and then hit the space or put somebody else into space. So it's quite remarkable, and the wingers were the prime beneficiaries of those this evening. With I lost track in the end. I think Bill Berry got a hat trick and Atisogbe got a couple, but he could have had more as well. I think he missed. There was one when an inaccurate kick, the only inaccurate kick I think in the first half, when he was massively open. But that kick went dead. Otherwise, he'd have had a hat trick as well. Again, let me know in the comments which players impressed you, which French players. I mean, it was definitely the halfbacks for France. The wingers benefited massively. I was impressed with Barassi in the centre, actually. He looks, what would I say, like really sort of physical and direct. Really sort of burst onto a few passes, which is impressive. Who else for France? I thought Aldrit was excellent all night. He just got that ability to beat a player with either like a bit of footwork or a bit of power, or usually both. But then most importantly, he always puts somebody else into space off the back of it. He manages to keep that ball, the tackler away from where he's carrying the ball. Always kind of just flicks the ball around, which is amazing. So Aldrit was good. Yeah, actually, so Mierfou is normally like a massive weapon for France in terms of the damage he does as a ball carrier. I thought Wales dealt with him really well, really, really well. They stopped him in his tracks multiple times. I'm not sure if he had one really good carrying. I think that, they got hold of him very well. So that's good. And again, that was mostly Gareth Thomas. I think he was outstanding with his tackling. And you look at that, and I think David Flatman made the point at the time, why are you taking him off? But then, Nicky Smith is really, really very good as well. So, across the whole tournament, I think Wales have got two very good loose heads there, which are going to serve them well. I thought, who's the hooker for Wales? Evan somebody. Anyway, I thought he was really good in the loose. His footwork before contact was really outstanding. That was good to see. Like a couple of dodgy lineouts, which I think was expected, but his footwork was good. Thomas Williams, I thought, was excellent as well for Wales. Really direct in play, and they tried some nice little kicks over the top as well. He did one, and a few of them did, which was good in terms of breaking down the French defence. But I think overall for Wales, they will be disappointed with what happened. They'll feel like they didn't get the performance that they're probably capable of, and after a bright start as well. So, feel for them. But they're often kicking and also not scoring. Like I wouldn't say they had chances, but they had positions. They had positions that they could have launched scoring opportunities from. And just too many mistakes. And actually, as the game went on, they got deeper and deeper and deeper, and they looked afraid to make a mistake, and as such, they were very easy to defend against. They started off the game quite a lot flatter to the line and were more challenging, but they got deeper and deeper, and by the end, France were just sort of walking up the pitch and then scragging them. It was a little bit sort of men versus boys towards the end of the game in that respect. But I still think there are things that Wales can take from that. It's a horrible defeat, obviously, losing by that amount to 0 at the start of the tournament, but there's enough in that performance for me that they shouldn't be too disheartened. They can go and build off that performance and get closer to the rest of the teams in the rest of the tournament. I'm sure of that. Okay, we shall call this to an end now. I am doing a big review tomorrow of this game. Tomorrow morning with my friend Taff. He's not actually Welsh. He's got a Welsh mother, and we call him Taff. So we are doing that tomorrow, and that will be out before the games tomorrow. And then obviously we've got two fantastic games tomorrow. Scotland, Italy is always entertaining, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, I think Ireland, England is the game of the weekend. I'm interested to see how it's going to go. It's looking like it might be a little bit windy, a little bit rainy there. And I think neither team are right on the top of their game at the moment, following the autumn, and then this being the first game of the tournament. I wonder what kind of game we see. I really hope we'll get because some of the games England and Ireland have been fantastic. They've been really exciting to watch. But since tomorrow's one might be a little bit scrappy at times, might be a few errors. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure I think there's going to be a lot of, I feel like it might be a bit scrappy, but we'll see. Fingers crossed for a good game, and we'll go from there. But we'll be doing these again tomorrow as well. So after both games, a little bit of a hot takes Facebook, YouTube live session with a beer or two, and tear it all apart. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And there's none of this. There's none of this today because I can't put those up on the screen, I don't think. But don't forget to get out and play.